All right, my friends, today we're going to be inspired by James Rizzi, and we're going to draw a cityscape. We're going to start with rectangles that cross our paper. The taller the rectangle, the taller the building. Then I'm going to add a face to each of my buildings. Your worksheet has two sides to it. One side shows you the steps to make buildings, and the other one just has a whole variety of faces. So if you're out of ideas for faces, flip your paper over and just look. So here I think I'm going to do somebody that has heart-shaped glasses. You could pick one of the faces on the back, or you can make your own. This is your art. Make it unique. When I use a variety of different details in my art, it makes it more interesting to the viewer. It gives them something to look at and holds their attention a little bit longer. So try using variety today as you are piecing together your adorable James Rizzi inspired buildings. When you're using this Sharpie marker, be sure not to push too hard. If you push too hard, sometimes you'll break the tip and that ruins the marker. That would not make me happy. So make sure you press just enough for it to transfer. If your marker isn't looking black, try trading it out for a new marker. Now I'm going to add doors and windows. My buildings could be symmetrical, same on both sides, or they could be asymmetrical. It's your choice. They could have buildings that have rectangle-shaped windows, triangle-shaped windows, circles, I don't know, even heart-shaped windows. It's really your choice and as far as your imagination takes you. This one, I think the lines on my window are going to match the line of his mouth. And a door. Now my kitty building. I'm going to kind of scatter the windows on this building. This one has a nice tall door and a few windows on either side. Now I'm going to use oil pastel to give some emphasis to areas of my art. So I'm going to pick parts that I want to stand out a little bit brighter than the rest of the paper, and I'm going to color that. So I'm not coloring my entire paper. I'm just choosing areas that I want to be brighter than the rest. So I think these cheeks, maybe some windows here and there. Maybe even a few doors to really get the viewer's attention. Then I'm going to move into the background. I'm going to make some dots in the sky for stars. I can make them in colors that stars actually are, or I could just use any old color I feel like. Then I'm going to make some swirling lines around just to give my paper a little bit of movement. Movement is when your lines or color choices make the viewer's eye follow around on your paper. Now I'm adding paint. We're going to use these tempera cakes, which are not normally used for watercolor resists. So you want to make sure today that you're using a lot of water. You want your paint to go on nice and smooth in a thin layer. You don't want it to go on super bright or it'll cover up your oil pastel lines. So today, make sure you add a lot of water as you are getting your paint ready. Remember that your paintbrush is like a ballerina. Ballerinas dance on their tippy toes. They never ever scoot around on their bottoms because nobody wants to go to the booty scooting ballet. So make sure that your paintbrush is dancing on its tiptoes. Make sure that whenever your brush is thirsty, you give him some water. We don't want any dehydrated paintbrushes today. When you're using this paint, if it's not coming off the cake at all, that probably means you forgot to add water. You have to add water for this paint to work, and then you kind of stir around in it. If you're using it with a lot of water, it's fine to go over your oil pastel lines. Oil and water don't mix. They're not friends. So they should not go over the oil pastel. If yours is going over the oil pastel, you know you have not added enough water, and your paintbrush is very, very thirsty and at risk for dehydration. So make sure that you always add a lot of water. And of course, never, ever, 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 ever mix my paint colors. I am not happy when my colors get mixed, and you better believe me, my next class wouldn't be happy either. So keep your colors nice and neat and clean by always rinsing your brush. Lastly, I'm going to fill in my sky, and I think I might even give my paper a little splatter of paint. When you do splattering on a painting like this, you want to make sure you only do it once or twice, or you'll lose all the beautiful colors. So I'm just going to load up my brush, do a couple little taps over my paper, and voila, it's complete.